Hi guys, Marina is here. Welcome back. Welcome to Journey Toward Wholeness, Fibromyalgia community. And if you haven't joined us yet, there will be a link in the description below. Join the community. It's a Facebook community, and I am eventually gonna probably create a website for that as well. But today I would love to go a little bit deeper into fibromyalgia and what it is to live with fibromyalgia. And the goal of the community Journey Toward Wholeness is encourage each other on this journey toward healing, toward wholeness, by sharing what is working for us and what doesn't work. Again, we are so uniquely created, designed, and our journeys are so unique that what works for one person not necessarily going to work for another person. And over the years, I've tried dozens of things, and today I would like to share with you some of the things that I've tried. But first, I've been diagnosed with fibromyalgia in 2009, and I've been in a lot of pain a year prior, and I just wouldn't go to the hospital because growing up, in my culture, you go to the hospital unless you're dying, you know. So it's kind of, it's not culturally, it's not in our culture to just go to the doctor when you're not feeling well. So I've been living with excruciating pain for a year until I finally went, and they ran dozens and dozens of tests on me to exclude what I don't have. And they finally, I went through to some of the top some of the top doctors in my state, and even referred myself to some specialists to make sure that they didn't misdiagnose me. And I was diagnosed with fibromyalgia, and of course at that time I couldn't even pronounce what. I remember thinking, I wish they just gave me something way more simplistic that I know how to fix it, or that there is actually ways to fix it. By fibromyalgia, they refer to it also as invisible disability. It is not like any other diagnosis, because when you look at the person, it's tricky to see that they are actually in a lot of pain. So that when my journey began, and the first 2 years was absolutely hellish. I was 23, I was quite young and energetic, and I turned into a very frustrated, impatient, angry individual. And that's what low-grade chronic pain does to people when you're in a constant pain. And if you or if your loved one diagnosed with fibromyalgia, or your friend, it's very good information to know, because when the person is constantly in pain, and some of the examples would be, imagine if you had flu. You know, when you have flu, your whole body aches, right? And you just feel like you've been hit by a truck. Or when your tooth ache, or when you have a migraine, a headache. Imagine being in pain like that all the time with no breaks. Just imagine. I mean, most people can't comprehend it. And that's why when you finally diagnosed with fibromyalgia, or when you just start experiencing the symptoms, your body is in such a shock, your mind is in such a shock. It's very difficult to cope with it. And that's when people become very suicidal. I became very suicidal. And again, I was a happy person. Everything was amazing. At that time, I even had a marriage, and I had a fantastic job, a house, a car, I mean, all of that American dream, right? So life was relatively good, and but none of those factors mattered when nothing worked for pain. I mean, I had times where I had to drive myself to emergency because pain was so extreme, nothing worked, and they will pump me with morphine, and that didn't work. You know, I was on hydrocodone, I was on narcotics, I was on all kinds of medication in the beginning, simply because I did not understand this pain. I did not know what to do about it, and doctors just keep giving me pills. And so the first 2 years were hellish. I mean, lost everything I've had, and had to make huge transitions in my life because it's affected everything. But then I started taking my health into my hands. I realized that I have to become my own doctor. Otherwise, I might as well just put a bullet in my head, and I'm being serious, because I remember driving from work, driving over the bridge and thinking, if this is how my life is and this is how it's gonna be, I just can't. Not because I'm sad, and not because I throw myself pity parties. I'm not that kind of person at all. But there was nothing, absolutely nothing, that eased my pain. And it's not something I couldn't even find communities. I couldn't even find people with whom I could talk about it, who can understand me. There wasn't one person, really. So it was, when I look back, I'm amazed that I'm still here, really. It's completely transformed my life. In fact, it transformed my life for good. And it sounds probably crazy, but I consider it as a blessing, because it's sometimes when you hit the ground so low and when you're left on your own completely, this is when you reevaluate your life. This is when you reevaluate your values. And yes, so I'm completely off track. So what I want to share with you today is some of the things that I have tried over these 6 years now. Some of them did help me, some of them did not work, and some of them I still implement on daily basis. I've tried everything from diets and supplements to very expensive treatments. And some of these things, let's talk about diet. I've done juicing. It's incredible what it does for your body. It was amazing, detoxifying. It's very, very, very good. I recommend juicing to absolutely everyone. Amazing stuff, juice fasting, but it didn't release me from pain. I've done diets. And I went from being very ignorant about the food industry to now gained quite a bit of knowledge. And I've tried being a vegetarian and vegan, and I'm talking about a couple of years. When I implement a protocol, I usually stick to it between like 6 months to a year. That's, so body has a time to process it and adjust to it. Also did not release the pain. It's helped me in other areas, but the pain still was pretty bad. Other things that I've tried, I don't know if you ever heard of MRS, mattress, and what it is, it's a machine actually. It's magnetic resonance stimulator. Pretty cool things. Couple of thousands of dollars, but didn't help me with pain either. I had a hot dome. I had a chi machine. If you have questions about any of those things, just contact me and I'll elaborate on it, but for the sake of time, I'm not going to. I also had inversion table. I've tried chiropractor. I also have used one of the best chiropractor in that state, and I went for 1.5 years to him. I'm on a regular basis. I mean, it was just intensive treatment and did not do anything for me. Actually, I went to acupuncture, a very good Japanese acupuncture as well, and done treatment, and no, not even close. Another thing I've tried, it's MUA. It's manipulation under anesthesia. And I've heard of several cases that got completely healed from it. And what it is, they basically put you under anesthesia, and it's like an external surgery, and they adjust you, adjust every single bone, basically put it into alignment, and they do it 3 times, and then you go through this extensive like a training with the doctor, where he continuously makes sure that you're in this alignment. Also, not at all, in fact, got worse. And not because of the treatment, it's just my fibro was progressing. In terms of exercise, I pushed myself so hard. I've done hot yoga, and the reason I did that is basically you exercising in a room with dry heat, and it opens up the muscles, relaxes the muscles, so you can stretch even more. You know, with fibro, we're just very tense all the time. And I've done swimming. I do hydrotherapy. Basically, I take hot showers and really cold showers. I've done biking, running, all of the things, just to keep myself sane, and done all of that through enormous amount of pain, and tons of supplements. I mean, acrylic oil, fish oil, vitamins, just name it. Basically everything I could get hold of and heard, I would do my research, and I would implement into my life, and I would be on that protocol for a while. And all of the things that I mentioned, and I've left out quite a few things, have definitely added value into my life, and increased the wholeness, but the pain did not decrease at all. In fact, I mean, there were days where I would sit in the bathtub for hours rocking on pain pills, because I mean, nothing helps, nothing reduced inflammation. There were and I mentioned that in my other video, there are days, twice actually, where the pain was so severe I went into pain shock. I actually went blind and passed out. Yeah, I mean, I can go on and go on about describing the pain, but if you're watching this and you have fibromyalgia, you know exactly what I'm talking about, so I don't need to elaborate on on how extensive the pain is. And there are a few other things last year that I've tried, and one of these I would like to talk to you about, just pros and cons of this protocol. It's called Guaifenesin Protocol. Dr. Sanamand, I came across his book, What Doctors Don't Tell You About Fibromyalgia. I came across last year, and again, you know, I've tried to educate myself as much as I can. And I came across this protocol. I read the book by Dr. Sanamand. It's What Doctors Don't Tell You About Your Fibromyalgia, and went hardcore into protocol, and that's quite extensive. There is so much stuff that you can't use. Basically, the idea behind it is that your body's fibromyalgia is genetic, and your body stores phosphate, and this phosphate builds over the years, and to break the phosphate you need component which is in both guaifenesin to break the phosphate. And if you use any products that have any kind of plant salicylates or aspirin, it blocks the effect of guaifenesin. So you can't use any products on your skin. I mean, you can use products, but nothing that has plants. You can't walk on the grass, you can't work with grass. I mean, there's lots of things that you can't do. But for me, you know, when you're desperate, I mean, there is no high price that you can, any price is fine. And I dived in, and I was on the protocol for a whole year. and I became a high dosage. So this is Guaifenesin. That's what I used to order from America. I'm in New Zealand now, but I'm an American. And another one is a Mucinex. It's very expensive. I mean, I've spent, anyways, a lot. So I've been on a year and I became a high doser. I took max 1800 milligrams, 3200 milligrams. I had to look in my notes. I actually even have a journal, pain journal, and I documented everything that I've been doing on this protocol. And in the beginning, I started in September of 2014. I decided that I'm going to give it a year, and if I see at least little bit progress, I will continue with it. So I spent lots of money, not only on medication, but also on the products, because there is not everything I could use. There's lots of restrictions. I couldn't do any more things that I couldn't, but I was like, man, if this is gonna help me, awesome. But I never had really peace about it, because once you're on it, you have to be on it for the rest of your life. Because basically genetically, the way you predisposition is that Guaifenesin, just your body doesn't process, phosphate properly. So it's just keep building and you keep breaking down with the Guaifenesin. So it wasn't cool with me, because with amount of time with how much I travel, it's not easy to get hold of Guaifenesin with all the restrictions. I was like, but anyways, I'll try. And in September of 2015, still no progress at all. I was in as much pain as I used to be, and I still continued, and I continued for another month. So basically I've been on it for 13 months until I decided this just, I've been part of the forum. I followed the protocol to T, literally. I've monitored my progress, and it just didn't do absolutely anything for me. And that's okay. If you are there are hundreds and hundreds of people that actually have much better effect with and success with this protocol, with Guaifenesin protocol. I didn't, but again, we have such unique journeys. We have such unique past, the way we even came down with fibromyalgia, that not everything gonna work. I mean, everything that I mentioned previously, some of this stuff healed people. Even juicing, I know people that have been completely healed with juicing. MUA, manipulation under anesthesia, completely free of fiber. So anyways, the thing is, become your own doctor and try. Don't give up on yourself. Try things. I mean, there were times where I felt like I can't do it anymore, and I stopped for a while even looking into things. But the hope renewed. Just hang out around people that encourage you and love you. And so I'm doing a new thing now, and that's another thing that have a quite interesting story. It's Cellgevity. I don't know if you can see it. Yeah, really, really cool supplement. I'm not gonna elaborate on it. I am still trying it out. I've started this in September, and the way I started, and listen, if your friend has fibromyalgia or someone you know, the worst thing you can do is keep giving them advice. The best thing you can do is what these people did. A friend of mine just walked. In fact, at that time they were just acquaintances. They're very good friends of mine now. They just walked to me and they gave me a package. They handed me a package. And I'm like, I was very fascinated, and they said, okay, there is some information on fibromyalgia. And I did not even share with them that I have that I was diagnosed with fibromyalgia. What they did, they found out through my YouTube videos, which is really cool, right? So I come home, I open the package, and there is this amazing information about not only fibromyalgia, but Cellgevity, and there is actually Cellgevity in it. And these bottles are empty, I just keep them. And I was like, oh, fascinated. So I was like, okay, cool, another supplement. So I just put it on my shelf, because I was on Guaifenesin Protocol at that time, and I was like, actually, all the ingredients, I couldn't take it because I was on Guaifenesin. So I was like, oh, another supplement. But then something intrigued me. It's because these people didn't walk to me and said, hey, you should try this, and be like, thanks. You know how many people come to me with advice? And that's the worst thing you can do, guys. Please do not give advices. If you want someone to try something, bring it to them. Print it out, give them information. Don't just solicit with your opinion. It's really hard for us. So I started doing my research, and I got fascinated, and because I was coming to the point that I was finishing Guaifenesin, and I thought I'm gonna give it a try. And so since September, I was on Cellgevity, and this is the first time that something is making a difference. And again, you've heard everything that I've tried that costs thousands and thousands of dollars. And this, which is I think New Zealand, $135 New Zealand, it would be less in US, is making a difference. And this is what interesting thing happened. Yesterday, a friend of mine treated me to a deep tissue massage, which I absolutely love. But after that, for 5 days, I'm in pain because the toxins are released and my inflammation is off the chart. So I went to massage, and the therapist was phenomenal. She gave me a phenomenal massage, and I crashed big time. I was in bed today until about 1 o'clock in the afternoon. But interestingly, you know, so here it is, my inflammation off the chart, and I normally don't go to pain medication because I'm self-employed, I need to keep working. And by the way, ask me about that if you're interested, because I couldn't hold a regular job. It was, you know what I'm talking about. So I found a different niche where I can actually work for myself from anywhere in the world, just having a laptop and connection to internet. Another subject, I'm not gonna digress. If you have questions, ask me. But it's like, okay, I need to be up. So yesterday I took a couple of anti-inflammatories, which I don't like to take pills, but the pain was off the chart and it didn't work. 4 hours later, doesn't work. Another 4 hours later, doesn't work. And I'm like, okay, I went to bed and I just can't sleep because, you know, and I took my normal dose of Cellgevity, and then something triggered and I was like, okay, take double dose, take 4 instead of 2 pills. I'm like, okay, I took 4 pills. And today when I woke up, which doesn't normally happen, you know, we wake up and, you know, you go to bed with pain, you wake up with pain. I woke up with significantly less pain. So if my pain was yesterday about 7 to 8 on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being worse, it was about 4 or 5. And normally after a deep tissue massage, I mean 5 days at least, it's insane, right? And not even pain pills helps. So I still was uncomfortable and I still was very tired. I felt like I was hit by a truck, but my inflammation was so significantly low. And that's what's happening. And I just let you do your own research on that. Again, what works for me not necessarily going to work for you. I'm going to include a link below. It's already 23 minutes, so I need to wrap it up because I need to go back to working. And I do encourage you to try it out. Try it out. Give it a 3 months. And I think if after everything that I've tried, this is the first thing that actually I see the difference, I'm quite impressed, quite frankly. And I mean, where's the ingredients? Anyways, Cellgevity Advanced RiboCeine technology. I'm not gonna go into details on that, but do your own research. Ask me questions if you have, and as the time goes on, I will do a more in-depth review of Cellgevity as I see the progress with myself. So anyways, this is it. This is what works for me, what doesn't work for me. It's a continuous journey toward wholeness, and this is what we're here for each other, sharing with each other stories, inspiring, encouraging each other, and loving each other. I know there's so many of you out there. Do not lose hope. This is what doesn't break you, make you stronger. And I believe that at some point you will look back and you will say this was a blessing. I believe it will happen in your life. I love you guys. Stay hopeful, and keep in touch.